Hey YouTube, Jeremy Wright here, back from a vacation away from hobbying and hanging, doing YouTubing, but spending a lot of time with my kiddos through the summer. And it's been a little bit since I shot some update videos, so I'm just starting with the one that kind of had my interest the most. This little 3.5 gallon tank with the Aqueon filter. And what's interesting to me is one of these rocks fell, and I wasn't really doing a lot with it. I just let it stay as it was, and kind of some interesting things happened. Some stargrass broke free from this area. It was originally not up here, but growing down in this area, and I kept it trimmed and was moving it around a bit. Now it's kind of taken over a few spots, which is what I wanted it to do, right? I think it's kind of tall and leggy, but that's okay. I expected it to be more of a ground cover type foreground plant, but that's okay. So it started breaking free, and probably like aqua soil, super hard, notoriously hard to plant into. Stargrass has a difficult time staying put in this stuff. Obviously, it's succeeded in many places, but somehow some broke free, came over here in the current near this filter, and it sort of lodged itself in the little buces and anubias up here. And actually some of that stuff has been moved around, so maybe this is only little anubias right now. I think I've moved some of the other things to a shrimp tank that were kind of breaking free. But this stuff's been growing well for me, honestly. Not the stargrass, but these little guys. Ludwigi has been doing well in this tank. I keep snipping it and moving it elsewhere. Crypts have been doing well in this tank. I've moved a lot of those out of this tank into other places, larger tanks. So yeah, this area up here used to be like all crypt. You couldn't see behind it, and I mean, it's still kind of that way, but that's not a bad foreground. I kind of like some mid-ground plants up in the foreground, looking a little bit jungly. But that's what this is. It's just been allowed to jungle out as it would for the last year and a half or so, maybe, since I've had this tank. And it's just been here hanging out. I'm trying to remember what this is, tank C maybe. Yeah, I've been away from my hobby for a bit. Pink Princess Begonia. This thing started as maybe 4 or 5 little leaves in the hang on back. And it probably doesn't get enough light. Let me show you what lighting this thing gets. So there's, gosh, that's an LED. Sorry, I can't really see what you're looking at right now. There are 3 LED lamps up there, 2 above the diffuser and 1 grow lamp that's just wired into a timer over here. And yeah, that's how this stuff works. So I actually have to come in this room every day and flip these lights on and the light back here. But the little light over the tank and the other light that was over, actually I just have recently had a hood failure. I was using, what size was that? Maybe a T5, I think it was. Anyway, it was an Aqueon brand fluorescent tube. It's the only fluorescent that I've got, but I was using it in here, and this is like my guest bathroom area, and it's just kind of one of my hobby stations. But yeah, this little 3.5 gallon, oh wow, look what I found. It was duckweed. There is some nearby, so if the kids are playing or something, sometimes that stuff actually gets into tanks that it's not supposed to be in. I don't mind it sitting on top of a snail jar, but I don't want it in my aquariums. There's more. No, what is that? What is that? I don't know. So I'll leave it. Anyway, this little tank's pretty cool. The fish are maybe guppies and endlers right now, so we might have some hybrids in here. These were probably fish that I pulled out of a tub, so in other words, I don't know what they were. But I mean, looking at them, they're quite clearly little gups, more so than endler. But I thought there might have been an endler in here, so I'm expecting them to be hybrids. For now, I guess they're just guppies. Okay, that's cool, whatever. There are more than we can see in here, but I don't know where the adult female is. She kind of usually stays, she's hanging out down there in the bottom. Somewhere back in there. It's kind of difficult to see through this tank. Anyway, I have said and shown a lot about such a tiny tank, so probably gonna get off of this here now, but yeah, that's just some of the stuff that's growing up and out of this tank. Those two, they're growing out of the same tank. But yeah, it really, I guess I'm getting back into my hobby videoing, but one of the changes that was kind of cool is some rocks fell over. It sort of rescaped the tank. Awesome, interesting. Other than that, stuff has just been growing for the last month or two since I was really giving updates on this stuff. Otherwise, appreciate anybody who's jumping back in and catching my first upload in quite a while. As I get more into my hobby and start cleaning up my tanks a little bit, what that really means is like pulling excess plant matter out of them so they're not just like full of guppy grass and, you know, red root floater. Then maybe I'll have some stuff to show and I'll be sharing it. Thanks.